Hi there, it's Sally from Rickety Snippets here, and today I'm going to carry on working into my Dragon Junk journal. So last time we created the first kind of double page spread, kind of bookish spread. So we've got library cards and dragons, of course. So if you missed that one, I'll put a link to it on the screen so you can catch up if you want to. And in this video, I'm going to use another couple of pages to create another spread. So I'm going to use a pocket from the kit, but I'm also on this side, I'm going to create a folio from scratch, and it'll be just 3 folds, but I think overall I'm going to create 7 pockets and tucks, so lots of places to stash little bits of ephemera. So I'm going to start with the easy bit and just stick this pocket in. I should just say, as usual, I'm using all these bits are from the Gold Edition Dragon Junk Journal, and that's in the Rickety Snippet shop, and I'll put a link to that below if you want to follow along using the same things. But I think you could do this with any printables that you have, so it doesn't have to be that kit if you don't have it. Okay, so I'm going to start with the easy page and just stick this pocket in. So I've just scored along the edge of these tabs and folded them in, and then I'm just going to put a bit of glue on them. I have gone over the edges with a bone folder just to kind of make it quite flat, so things don't fall out so easily. If you're going to have a lot of things in these pockets, they tend to hold on to things a bit better, but you've only got 1 or 2 things can fall out. There we go. And then I'm going to put these 2 bits of ephemera in there. I've got a kind of book page and this beautiful label, tag rather, how lovely that is. And I'm going to put them in this pocket, like that. So I'm going to create a little mini pocket on here. Over on this side, when we create the folio, you're going to be able to see 3 little pockets in a row here. So they're not really pockets, they're like little labels really, but I thought they'd make cute little pockets because we have these little mini receipts. I thought they'd be quite nice in there. So we'll do that when we come to make the folio. And so on this side, it'd be quite nice to kind of mirror that little pocket. I've got this one, flowers on it, that could be quite nice. But there's also this label. It's a different shape, but I think I'll use that one. That's quite nice. And then I think you could do with a little number or something on there. Oh, like this one. So I'm going to stick that down. So just a bit of glue on the sides here. I'm not going too high up on the sides so that we don't lose too much room there. The top. That, and then I'm just going to stick that one down on top. Like that. I do like that purple against that purple. That looks nice. And then I was going to put in one of these, so it's just a little bit of kind of collage paper. I've printed on both sides. I'm just going to fold that in half. So there's a few of those in the kit. And tuck that in there. Actually, perhaps we'll put something on top of that as well. I've got some stamps. A stamp on it, or perhaps a round one. Nice, or perhaps smaller one. Yeah, that's quite nice. Let's do that. So I'm just going to ink that a little bit. Yeah, so a little kind of little card and a little bit of space for journaling inside there. You can tuck that in there. So all of these could be journaling spaces. So this one's got, I've printed out some really kind of neutral stuff on all of them, so you could write on them. There we are. So that's that page. So that was easy. So if you haven't got this kit, you can just make that pocket. It's it's just got a little bite out of the top, but of course it could be any shape you like. And then, so this one, let's create the folio. So I'm going to grab this. So I've just printed one of the a couple of the papers back to back. So I've chosen this one with this kind of fleur de lis, is it on it? Kind of gold colours, and then this one as well with these lovely flowers up the side, although I don't think we're going to see those very much. But I was really going for this gold colour. I liked that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold lengthwise and just create a kind of flap that's probably about an inch wide, 2.5 centimetres. If you want to measure all this, you can do that. I'm just going to do it by eye. I'm going to fold it down at that. And then I'm going to fold again. So here's that flap, and then I'm going to fold this side over like this. And I'm then leaving probably about an inch again there. But before I do that, I just want to make sure that this bit is wide enough to accommodate these pockets. That should be about right. So line up, fold, smooth it over, and then I'm going to take the book, and I want it to be slightly shorter than the page. So about there, I'm going to cut it there. And then I'm just going to cut that bit off. Hopefully it will be straight. Again, you might want to measure it. You want it very straight, but that looks fine. So, and then I'm going to take those labels again and stick them on as pockets. Like that. I might ink them first of all, and then I'm just going to put a bit of glue along each edge and a bit at the bottom. There we are. So I've stuck them on that kind of flap, and they're fairly evenly spaced, and hopefully allowing enough room for us to put these receipts in there like that. That one's quite plain, so I might stick something on it. Perhaps a saying. What have I got? Got breathe deep, burn bright, you dragons. Or maybe a bit of this collage sheet. Quite like this stamp. I might try that. It's a bit kind of stuck there all by itself. So something else as well. Try that little bit, a few words in there. I can't decide. So I'll just cut a strip of that. Alongside, cut like that. So ink those. Yeah, so just adds a bit of interest. So that's the kind of first flap of our folio, or the outside of our folio. And I might put a round or something here to keep that shut. Let's have a look at inside. So I'm going to grab the bit that we cut off of the top of this piece. So we've got our 3 folds, and we want to make the folds so that they both fold in the same way, like that. And then you can kind of play around. So we're going to make that a pocket, but it's also going to be a pocket inside with a kind of opening flap like that. And then, so it's up to you how you want it to sit on there. So you might want it that way round, or you might want to fold it back the other way. Yeah, which is nice, like that. Can't decide now. Look. Yeah, I think we'll have it with the that way. And so I just want to put a line of glue here and here, so top and bottom of that, of the smaller flap. Stick that down. And then before I stick that down, I want to make a kind of closure for it. And we've got some bits of kind of faux washi tape. There's quite a lot of them in the kit. But I'm liking these two bits. And I thought I might create a belly band using one of them here. And then closure for this on the other, with the other one. So perhaps I'll use this one for the belly band because it is a little bit wider, that one. And I'll use a bit of this as a closure. So I'm just going to use a little bit of it, and I want a bit of an overhang like that. And then from the other side, we're just going to fold over. I'm not folding right up to the edge there because I want it to have a little bit of give in it. And I want it so that this bit will tuck underneath like that. So I want it reasonably near the end so it can tuck in. So I'm just going to turn it over and put some glue on the folded bits there. One there. Just wait for a bit for that to dry. And then once it is dry, I want to, reasonably dry, you can leave yours a bit longer, but I want to put some glue along this bottom edge and along the sides to create a pocket, top loading pocket, like that. And then it's going to sit into the fold there. There we go. So now we have a pocket here, so we can grab some ephemera to put in there. Got a couple of dragony tags, so put those in there. Think about those. And then in here, we've got another little pocket, and I've got this kind of verified by the Dragonic Trade Authority, little kind of bit of ephemera, so that can slide into there. And I also thought it'd be quite nice to use one of these. So these are little coin purses that are kind of coin pockets that are in the kit too. So I need to do some scoring. And so I'm going to score along each of the tabs and along these two lines here. And then I'm going to fold the tabs in. So I've printed something on the back of this as well, so you don't have a white inside your flap, so that's not white. There we are. So just folded along all those edges, and then I'm just going to put a bit of glue on both those tabs. Stick that down. And then I'm going to put inside there. I might come back to this, but this was that other little floral label. I'll put that in there for the moment, but I might come back to that, find something a bit better for that. Coin purse, should have coins in it, really. So that can also sit inside this pocket. like that. Yeah, let's just close that up. And this is kind of like a tuck as well, so you could put something else under there as well. Stamp in there. So I might find something else for that as well. And then, so on this side, I'm going to put the belly band. And so it's going to go all the way up the page. Let's see where that sits. Just going to cut it there. And then just a little bit of glue top and bottom. Quite a lot of glue, actually. I'm going to make it quite deep, that glue, so it holds it nice and firmly. A couple more tags that could look nice with that, like that. Tree of Life under there. This one, which has got a lily on it. I have a dragon and a lily in this pocket. That, perhaps I might put another receipt or something in there. So I'll come back and play with that for a bit. Okay, so we've got that all then folds back into there. And then if we've got room, I'll just stand out a little bit. So I should have made this a bit nearer. Or this a bit wider. But anyway, I think I'll put a round here just to hold it in place. So very frustratingly, recording decided to cut off. Luckily, I hadn't done very much. But all I've done is I've stuck a round here and just put glue on one side there so that you leave a bit free for this flap to sit underneath. So it's the kind of front of the folio. Sit under that and it'll keep it closed. And then I've also stuck it into the journal. And I did that by put some glue top and bottom of that kind of 1 inch flap, which has effectively kind of created a belly band. So you can put a piece of ephemera under there. So that's it really. So next week, I think I'm going to make a kind of hidden paperclip cascade. So there'll be kind of probably three, maybe 4 hidden paper clips, creating a kind of cascade down a page. And I will link to that on the screen once that video is up and running. And in the meantime, have a great week and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.